everyone, welcome to Talk with Trish on Miss England TV. Today's topic of the talk is natural disaster, which can be very devastating to people that have been affected. It's even worse if the country is very underdeveloped and suffers such natural disaster. Today we have a specific event that happened in Nepal back in 2015 in the form of earthquake. I'm delighted to introduce you my guest of the day, Ojesh Singh, who is going to talk to us more about his experience, someone who has helped various charities such as Amnesty International, Scope International Alert, by running a marathon, hosting events, and so on. So welcome to the show, Ojesh Singh. How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. So tell me more about this earthquake.
Yeah, the earthquake that occurred in Nepal was about 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. It was one of the biggest earthquakes that Nepal has ever faced. It was 7.8 Richter scale. It's quite big.
Wow.
It occurred just outside of the capital, Kathmandu Valley, in a village called Gurkha.
I'm familiar with that. My dad is an ex-Gurkha.
Yeah, that's where the Gurkhas come from. Yeah.
So I'm familiar with that area.
Yeah. So it was very big. It had huge impact on Nepal itself.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, how many people did it impact?
It killed over 9,000 people.
Wow.
And it injured just over 22,000 people. It impacted quite a lot in Nepal.
Really? So I think I remember, because obviously I've got families in Nepal as well, and I remember Facebook played a huge role because I feel like Facebook is not just a social media. It acts like a news portal as well nowadays, because you could take yourself safe at that time, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's how I actually found out about the event, because it was Saturday morning when I was going through my Facebook page. I saw lots of people or friends from Nepal who were marking themselves safe and posting pictures and videos of the actual event that was happening, and that's when I found out something wasn't right. So I called them up and found out what was going on. So they were all very scared.
Yeah. How did you feel about it when you found out, when you saw all these photos and pictures? And
yeah, I felt very sad, and I had a kind of a mixed feeling. I just wanted to go to Nepal and try and do something about it, but I didn't know how to do it and what to do. So it was a very sad feeling, to be honest. Yeah.
So what did you do? Did you go to Nepal?
Yes, I did eventually, but when I could not go straight away. Obviously, I had to arrange for things. So by the time I got my ticket, it was 2 weeks later already, after the earthquake. But then just before I flew, there was another aftershock, which was equally massive. So I had to change my plans. So I planned to take my child and my wife with me. However, after that second aftershock, we decided not to take my little son with me, because it wouldn't have been safer for him. But yeah, we left after 2 weeks.
So you and your wife went over.
Yeah.
So is there anything you did to maximize your visit to Nepal?
Yeah, so before we went, we collected lots of donations from lots of people, and we spoke to lots of organizations in Nepal before we went there, so we could distribute the stuff that we take from here.
So how did you decide what to take? When you spoke to the organization in Nepal, did they say what they required, or you just thought natural disaster, this is what I need, this is essential? Or how did you go around it?
So what happened was, first of all, when we found out about this disaster, we called people up in Nepal who were in different areas, and they told us firstly they needed tents and stuff, so we collected as many tents as possible from here, but then again taking it from here would have been much more expensive. So we collected money, donations, and then we asked people in India to buy tents and then take it from there to Nepal, which was easier. And also one of the things was very difficult for us to do was the only international airport in Nepal was not open, it was shut.
Yeah, of course.
So not many people could fly from here to Nepal.
So, but did the airlines help? Because I'm assuming the airlines were still flying to Kathmandu, were they?
Not for a few days. It opened up after a while. Yes, we heard that there were lots of airlines, whoever flew to Nepal, like Qatar Airways, I think, or also Gulf Airways. They helped people to take stuff from here to Nepal, but we didn't try it ourselves. We used military cargo services and the cargo companies who actually wanted to donate and help. So we didn't require airlines' help. However, we are aware that there were people who were actually helping us.
So did you because you said earlier that you got loads of things donated and you raised funds as well. What kind of things did people donate? Were they all that you required, or did you get more than what required?
People donated various things. They brought in clothes, shoes, blankets, tents, and everything. Sometimes they donated more than what was required or what was expected of them.
I remember,
yeah.
because me and my family, we kind of collected everything in our garden as well. I remember having loads of stuff in our back garden which had been donated by generous people, but of course not everything is as important for a place with natural disaster just struck. So we were filtering everything out, and sometimes there was like going out dresses, which obviously is not suitable during that time. So we were filtering it out. So how did you recognize what's more important?
Yeah, so because while doing this collection of stuff, we were continuously talking to people in Nepal as to what was required, and most of the time they were talking about blankets and tents and warm clothes and stuff like that, because the weather wasn't good and people were very scared to go back to their homes, so they were staying outside in the open places. So people were bringing in, as you said, the clubbing dresses and high heels and stuff like that, which wasn't necessary at all, and which wasn't appropriate as well. So we were filtering all those out, and we were only keeping the stuff that we thought that people in Nepal would require, mostly blankets, tents, shoes, and warm clothes.
I just realised you say tents a lot, and I'm guessing that's because I remember seeing a few videos of landslides. Were there more than just landslides, or what else? Do you know more?
What's happened is, because in Nepal, it being underdeveloped or say developing, many villages didn't have a proper infrastructure of buildings.
Of course.
And so when this huge earthquake happened, most of the villages just got wiped out completely. And that was one thing. And the next thing was also in cities like Kathmandu Valley, people did not want to go back to their homes because they were all cracked, and they were scared that if ever the second earthquake or other aftershocks happened, the buildings that they're living could collapse.
Yeah, so pretty much over 90% became homeless.
Yeah, so everybody wanted to live outside, somewhere safer. Yeah,
of course.
And then tent was required because
the
weather wasn't great.
Well?
When we went there, it was after 2 weeks, so the situation had a lot more calmer than earlier.
As you said, a lot of villages were wiped out. I'm guessing a lot of heritage was affected as well in Nepal, because I know Nepal is very high in its heritage, and there are buildings that are very, very old.
Yeah, you're right. Kathmandu Valley itself has got lots of heritage sites which are listed in UNESCO as World Heritage Sites. Some of them are completely collapsed. A few have got cracks, and then others are still standing, but most of them are gone now.
Okay. So how did you help while you were there visiting?
So before we went there, we coordinated with lots of organizations in Nepal, and all the people who were actively helping people in and outside of the capital valley. So they asked us to bring lots of medicines and clothes and stuff, and then we bought few, and then we also had lots of things that we collected through donations. So we took them there, and then we distributed among the organizations in Nepal to be distributed all across Nepal.
So how did you, because there must be a lot of organizations, because the whole country is in a devastating situation. So how did you choose which organization to help or give funds to?
Yeah, because the organization that we are working here with, called Pasa, Puchah, Guthi, we had lots of connection in Nepal already. So we just channelized our connections to distribute this stuff in Nepal.
So how much did you raise?
We were able to raise actually £27,000.
Wow. So how did you go around raising these funds? Were they individuals only, or did an organization in UK help, or how?
We initially, what we did was we posted a post on Facebook asking for help, and then we set up a Just Giving page as well. So initially it was just people trying to help all across country in the UK. And then there were a few organisations who wanted to help as well, and there were some university students and companies like Argos trying to give us stuff, and it was quite helpful. Yes.
How did Argos come around to you? How did they contact you?
One of the staff in Argos actually was from Nepal, so he actually went on and spoke to his manager, and then they arranged some blankets to be donated to Nepal.
I remember during that time there was a lot of news as well, like BBC and everything. I'm guessing they helped a bit as well?
Yeah, there were two particular medias that helped us a lot. It was BBC, as you said, and then another one was Guardian. Both of them ran our interviews and stories, and then we gave our bank details and stuff like that, and then we just saw money coming in within a short period of time.
So how did you give all of the funds to the organisation, or did you utilise some of it yourself?
Initially, to start with, we gave it to the organisations in Nepal who could actually go and do things straight away that was needed immediately. And then in the second phase, we used organisations, but not to help people, but help rebuild, which was required much more than just giving food and stuff.
What did you rebuild? The heritage, or?
We rebuilt 4 schools because we thought the education was very important for children. When there was not much to do for them, so we helped build 4 children, and then later on we went on to help rebuild temples as well.
So there was a lot of loss. Do you have an estimation of what kind of loss Nepal faced?
Yeah, it was quite big. It was as big as up to $10 billion. For a country like Nepal, which is quite small and underdeveloped, 10 billion will count to 50% of the country's GDP.
Wow.
Yes.
So that is a lot of loss.
Yes.
That happened, unfortunately. So pretty much you helped the whole country in overall. So how do you think of the things that you did impacted the country?
The impact was great because they got the immediate help that needed in terms of food and essentials. And then secondly, what they also got was that they knew that there was somebody else out of the country who were always willing to help, which gave them confidence and which made them more resilient.
Thank you so much, Ojesh, for coming in today and sharing your experience with us. It has been wonderful having you here today. As you all are aware, it's so important for everyone to come together and help each other, especially when natural disaster strikes. It is out of everyone's control. Together, we really can make a world a better place. I would also like to thank everyone out there who are trying to make a difference for people in need. So thank you, and see you next time. Do not forget to subscribe to Miss England TV.